Do you know that theory that says that we use only 5% of our brain? This number has originally been proposed by the psychologist William James and popularized by Nobel for Economy Daniel Kahneman in his book Thinking Fast and Slow. What about if you could use all of it? Well, by the end of this presentation, you will be using 100% of your brain. Cybersecurity isn't just about technology or firewalls. It's about understanding how our mind works in the digital world. And today I will share with you insights from the book Cybercognitivism, the psychology of cybersecurity, that will make you see cybersecurity from a whole new perspective. We'll explore how psychology, behavior, and technology blend together to shape our online experience. Are you ready to unlock the full potential of our mind in the cyberspace? Throughout this session, we'll examine the key cognitive theories and discuss how they can be applied in cybersecurity. And this approach will provide insights into the human threats, making it easier to understand how attackers exploit your mental shortcuts and your brain vulnerabilities to compromise your security. We'll also cover threats and techniques that can help empower you, your company, and your users to recognize and resist these attacks. And guess what? Current approaches are often missing the mark. Despite billions spent each year on cybersecurity technology, data breaches continue to increase, with the human factor being one of the most easily exploited weaknesses. Typically, the approach to security is considered an outsourced responsibility. For organizations, security is often managed by other colleagues or external providers. For private citizens, it's frequently overlooked or left to an IT friend or to the authorities. The most widely adopted approach across industries is based on ITIL, which includes guidelines dating back to the 80s. And one of the ITIL's foundational concepts is the Golden Triangle, also known as PPT, People, Processes, and Technology. According to the Ponemon Institute annual cost of the data breach report, which analyzed data from 3,600 employees across 550 organizations in 17 different sectors and countries, credential theft is now the leading attack vector, responsible for 19% of breaches. And these breaches take an average of 240 days to identify and additional 84 days to contain. So imagine if for 6 months you had an intruder freely exploring your house and occasionally using your belongings, helping themselves to the fridge, and even leaving the door open for others to come and go. Then after those 6 months, you finally realize that someone has been there. But the questions are overwhelming. How did they get in? What areas are most at risk? And what's missing? And then you spend another 3 months just figuring out the damage, and other 3 months and countless resources, budget, customers moving away, people fired, and legal actions trying to restore order and security. So, is the technology working? Probably not enough. And what about people? Back to the Ponemon report, all the attacks are directly or indirectly related to human faults, phishing, weak software, insider threats, misconfigurations, and negligence, physical security breaches, and accidental data or device loss. And at least 7 of these are tied to cognitive errors that attackers can induce, but which could have been prevented. And although most of us know the basics of security hygiene, we don't always apply them. For example, we understand, or every one of you understand, that online banking passwords should be complex and securely stored. So yet, year after year, the most common password remains 123456 and password. People can interrupt the chain of the events that attackers can exploit. And Sans Institute, a prominent cybersecurity body, observed that organizations still rely primarily on technology to stop attackers, using tools like firewalls, antivirus software, and CMS systems. Stopping just a portion of those user errors could prevent millions in losses. So why our technology isn't just stopping attacks? Numbers tell the story. Despite the rapid rise of cybersecurity companies and the increased corporate spend on cybersecurity, losses are exponentially multiplied in recent years, and the cost keeps rising. So today, in the digital-first world, technology has transformed how and where we work. Mobile phones, social networks, cloud computing, and the pandemic accelerated this transformation, and generative AI, now part of our daily lives, is paving the way for a new wave of technology advancement. And fueled by tech marketing, our brains are often primed to trust innovative promises, even if the benefits come with huge risks. But most consumers don't have the expertise or the time to scrutinize each piece of technology they use. And this leads to a sort of blind trust in science and technology, a trend dating back to the 19th century. And it's here that attackers find a fertile ground, exploiting the human side of the golden triangle, which can remain more vulnerable than ever as technology advances and processes becomes more efficient. So organized cybercrime groups, including the traditional mafias, have recognized this opportunity, seizing the gaps left by the companies and individuals focused solely on technology for protection. And the result? A blue ocean for cybercriminals, providing anonymity, high returns on investment, and relatively impunity. For automatic actions like blinking or instinctively dodging an obstacle. System 1 functions are rapid and nearly effortless, often occurring without conscious awareness. And these instinctive reactions evolved to help us survive immediate threats by making quick decisions. So in our daily lives, this means that we handle routinely tasks and habitual actions automatically, saving mental energy for more complex decisions. System 2 handles deliberate decisions, preferences, and actions requiring active thought. When we focus on problem solving, reasoning, or engaging in critical thinking, we engage System 2. So why System 2 is slower and resource intensive? It enables us to approach problems analytically. Cybercriminals leverage social engineering techniques to engage System 1, prompting quick response with little thoughts. So by exploiting feelings like urgency or authority, cybercriminals trick users into responding impulsively before fully assessing the situations. And examples can include creating fake deadlines for actions or sending messages from fake executives. And the goal is to bypass rational thinkings, nudging the users into quick actions leading to security breaches. Paul MacLean's Trillion Brain Theory, foundational to neuromarketing, explains decision-making by categorizing the brain into three parts. It's another approximation, but it again helps to get the point. So we have the reptilian brain, the ancient brain, is associated with survival instincts. This is the most primal part of our brain, which evolved to handle basic life functions like fly or fight responses, reproduction, and territorial instinct. In cybersecurity, attackers exploit the reptilian brain by triggering fierce responses to create a sense of urgency, compelling users to act without thinking. Limbic system manages emotions and social bonding, and this is the part of process which processes emotions and enables us to connect socially. Storytelling and emotionally engaging messages in phishing emails or scams are designed to stimulate the limbic system. And examples can include messages that appeal to empathy, such as requests for donations or urgent financial help from a friend. Neocortex is responsible for high-order thinking, language, and self-awareness. So in theory, we would use neocortex for everything, but because of cognitive biases, it's often as up to justify instinctive decision makes by the other brain areas. So in the cybersecurity awareness training, the goal is to encourage users to engage their neocortex before acting on instinctive urges triggered by phishing and other social engineering attacks. This is a three-part model that helps us understand why attackers use emotionally charged messages and rapid action prompts, just like marketing expert cyber criminals target the non-rational part of our brain to influence our behavior. 10 years ago, researcher Sunil Chowdhury explored the role of emotions in phishing attacks, and he highlighted how emotions like fear, excitement, or desire to be helpful can be exploited by attackers. So, when emotions are strong, people are more likely to share information and act without fully analyzing the risk. This is often seen in attacks using food, fear, uncertainty, and doubt to trigger automatic emotion-driven responses. So by increasing awareness on how emotions can be manipulated, training programs can better prepare users to pause and evaluate such messages critically. So building emotional resilience through training can empower users to resist pressure and avoid the rushed decisions. Social engineering attacks, especially sophisticated ones like whaling, that's phishing a CEO or another top executive, require establishing a rapport with the target. Criminals conduct detailed research, gathering data from social media, forums, and online repositories. It's an investigation called OSINT, Open Source Intelligence. It's free and easy. Anyways, this information helps attackers build a personality profile combining frameworks like MBTI or DISC model to personalize their message. And the attackers might frame an interaction in the way that resonates with the target personality, thereby building trust. And examples include mimicking language and the tone based on the user's online personality, increasing the likelihood of effective attack the user. So guess what? Why your actual cybersecurity awareness training isn't work properly? Just because it doesn't implement cybercognitivism, while attackers do. In fact, cybercrime organizations hire psychologists and consultants in cognitivism and narrow language programming to exploit human biases and emotional triggers. And these experts design manipulative strategies that target the way people make instinctive decisions. By understanding human psychology, attackers can craft phishing messages that trigger impulsive actions like clicking a link without a second thought. And cybercognitivism would empower users to recognize these triggers, slow down impulsive responsive, and engage their cognitive capacity, effectively turning the tables on attackers. Studies show that interactive and scenario-based training is far from effective from than static content. And you can use NP and LP to craft realistic bait, encouraging users to actively apply knowledge rather than passively absorb informations. And demographic, such as age, gender, and technical background, have an impact on phishing susceptibility. Studies reveal that younger users, who are technically native, fall victim due to overconfidence, while older users are vulnerable due to less experience with online threats. So, a tailored approach that considers these demographic variations can enhance training. The traditional security methods often rely on technology, overlooking the human element. Despite innovation, user errors remains the leading cause for data breaches. So, cybercognitivism leverages cognitive biases to improve awareness and response, and a shift can help users to recognize and resist manipulation tactics. With this approach, individuals become more participant in security, protecting both their personal and professional assets. Cybercognitivism incorporates the following techniques: practicing and engaging learning, engaging user with scenarios, interactive exercises, and challenges that mimic real-life phishing attacks that make the learning more memorable and impactful. 2. Frequent and short learning sessions rather than intensive one-time sessions. So user benefits from short, recurring training methods that can fit into their workday. This reduces disruption to productivity while reinforcing knowledge over the time. Gamification is often presented like the magic wand to engage your users, but guess what? Given the result, it's not so powerful. People is not actually changing their attitude and loving their colleagues just because they played a role in the escape room. As said, the repeated team building sessions are working. However, incorporating positive reinforcement and encourage users to stay engaged is better. Avoiding technical jargon makes the content understandable for all users and helps reduce barriers to the learning. Real-life scenarios and storytelling are relatable stories that help users emotionally connect with the content and also enable the user to better understand phishing attempts in their own digital environment. Providing user with modular training that fits a continual learning model helps solidify skills over the time. Recognition for achievement and learning milestones, both personal and professional, reinforces positive behavior changes. By employing these techniques, cybercognitivism empowers users to recognize and respond to social engineering and phishing attacks with a higher level of awareness and resilience. So let's keep in touch.